अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम् आश्रये भीष्टसिद्धये अर्थतोऽपि अद्वयानन्दान् अतीत्वद्वैतभानतः गुरूनाराध्य वेदान्त सारं वक्ष्ये यथामतिः. So we are seeing the question of ignorance, right? And we are seeing the individual and collective aspects. Okay. So I think 36th verse we saw last time.
38.
38 also. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he is making a difference. If you notice in the last 3-4 verses, between individual and collective ignorance. Individual ignorance and total ignorance is making a difference. Of course, individual ignorance will be a part of the total ignorance. The consciousness manifest in both is one. There is no individual consciousness, total consciousness. Consciousness is one. But because of where the consciousness is manifest, you are getting two names, Jiva and Ishvara, with very different powers and function, etc. That is called Upadhi Bheda. The Bheda because of the Upadhi, because of the apparent limiting adjuncts. Okay, some Jalashaya, okay, the lake and all that examples he has given. Okay, and we also saw that to gain moksha is individual responsibility. Because Ishvara, though his consciousness manifest in the total Upadhi, Ishvara does not have the problem of bondage or liberation. For the simple reason that total ignorance also implies all knowledge. Maya Shakti includes into itself all knowledge. Therefore, Ishvara does not have the problem of bondage. Therefore, the question of moksha for Ishvara doesn't come up. That is for individuals. And since it is for individuals, each person has to gain moksha. Mark my words, each person has to gain it. It becomes our individual responsibility. There is no collective moksha. There is no moksha that all the students together will gain moksha. That is also not there. It is all highly individualized. Same class, you can have some people with clear-cut understanding, some people not understanding. It depends on what you have brought to the table. How much of Viveka, Vairagya, etc. you have brought to the table. It depends upon that. It depends upon with what mindset you are approaching the Shastra. Are you taking it as a pramana or is it an academic study? What is your commitment, your mumukshutva? It depends upon all that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's all clear, or are there any questions or clarification?
Swamiji?
Yeah.
Again and again,
One second. Who is talking? I thought it was Sunita Savla who was talking, or is it Sashi?
Shashi.
Okay, Sashi. Tell me.
Mr. Shashi and Sunita both. Sir, one question is, sir, again and again we repeat Occidental.
Huh?
What does it mean, Occidental?
I don't know. I have not used that term.
Very often we use the word,
I have not used that term, so don't ask me.
I have written it in my...
You may have written it, but
not
I don't.
today,
I have not used the term
but
Occidental.
in the earlier lectures,
Does anyone else here remember in what context I may have used that term?
I think it means the Asian side and the Western side. That is what it is referring to.
I beg your pardon, Vijay
The
Lakshmi?
Asian side and the Western side. The
Swamiji, it was
Asian philosophy and the Western philosophy.
Sorry, none of you are clear. Please speak louder
no,
or go closer to your mic.
Swamiji, you said the religions from West Asia are
Occident.
religions.
Okay, Oriental and Occidental. Okay. So West Asian religions: Judaism, Islam, Christianity. Okay. You always remember when you are quoting a word to me, context. In what context? It's not that I don't remember. I wanted to see how many of you all are remembering. Okay. Because all words are used in a particular context. Okay. Any other questions?
Swamiji, in respect to the last class, I
Yeah.
just had one question.
Yeah.
We said now the total tamas, total rajas, total this thing, the whole Maya Shakti.
Yeah.
So then they use the word gunatita. So then how do we, what is the context, like how do we explain that gunatita word?
Okay, done. I will answer that right now. Before that, one statement. Yes, even Zoroastrianism will be included into Occidental religions. Yes, because that also has come from West Asia. Though in West Asia, the Parsi religion is not surviving anymore. It's surviving outside West Asia, in India and some parts of USA, Canada, it's surviving. Yeah. I don't know whether in other places it's surviving. I'm not sure. I know it's surviving in USA and India. That much I'm sure. But if they don't take any steps, it may die out in India at least. Yeah. Because they are not reproducing fast enough to replace the dying population, even though Parsis are known to have a long life. Yeah. Anyway, that apart. So total tamas will become what? Total tamas will not become total ignorance. Total tamas will become the matter. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi and all the combinations that create the universe. Total tamas will manifest as matter. Total rajas will manifest as action, movement, inertia, energy, principles of motion will manifest like that. Total sattva will manifest as knowledge that you can study and discover. So sattva rajas will manifest like this as far as the totality is concerned. It is only in the individual that tamas manifests itself as laziness, indolence, etc. But tamas manifests as matter also. Like after the festival season, some of us will have a little bit more tamas. Especially around the waist. Because for Dasara, everyone has to have fafda jalebi for breakfast, no? Yeah, I mean, then Diwali around the corner. Yeah. So, naturally you will have some more tamas in you, manifest as matter. But similarly, laziness, indolence, etc. The good side of tamas is the ability to wind down, relax, go to sleep. That's a positive side of tamas. Rajas is desire, passion, activity. And that rajas is necessary to get us out of our tamas. and converting rajas to tamas, from rajas to sattva by karma yoga, buddhi, etc. So the same desire, the same passion you do with Ishwararpana buddhi, prasada buddhi, etc. And you bring, and sattva is all that's bright and beautiful in you. Knowledge, nobleness, compassion, helpfulness, seva bhav, all that will come under sattva as the individual is concerned. As far as the totality is concerned, it is all knowledge, including Brahma Vidya. All that, okay. So that is the individual and total. Any other questions?
So this sattva is not very clear.
Individual or total?
Now what should individual?
Yes, your sattva right now is covered with some doubt. Can you understand that? Sattva is the ability to know. Sattva is the ability to know, and all the beautiful emotions that you have: love, compassion, kindness, friendliness. All this comes under sattva. It's not limited to it. I'm just giving you a few examples. So, my ability to know, etc., is because of sattva. So, some doubts can creep in. So, taking care of that doubt is also sattva. Doubt is not sattva. Taking care of it is sattva. Answering that doubt is sattva.
Now, Swamiji, how do we explain the free from gunas? My question is.
Yeah, gunatitaha. Yes, yes. Gunatitaha. Tell me what is beyond the gunas. First, objectively, what is beyond the gunas?
Consciousness.
Only consciousness can be beyond the gunas, na? Sattva, rajas, tamas makes up the whole creation. So your mind onwards, in fact your unconscious onwards, everything else, everything is sattva, rajas, tamas. Is sattva, rajas, tamas satyam or mithya? Mithya.
Mithya.
Therefore, then what is beyond the mithya? Only pure consciousness.
Consciousness.
Therefore, only pure consciousness is called gunatitaha. Then the term gunatitaha is also given to a person who knows aham satyam. Satyam jnanam anantam brahman aham asmi iti. The one who knows that, since his identification now is with pure consciousness, not with the upadhis, he is also called gunatitaha, sthita prajnaha. All these names are given. They are the terms given. Really speaking, gunatitaha is nothing but pure consciousness. And since the wise person is identified with pure consciousness, he or she is also called gunatitaha.
Swamiji,
Yes.
is
Yeah.
that even Jivan Mukta?
Yeah, Jivan Mukta, all the same things. Yeah.
Same thing.
Sthita Prajna, Jivan Mukta, Gunatitaha. In fact, in Gita Bhashya, there are places where Shankara uses the term sannyasi for that, for one who is Gunatitaha.
So, Swamiji, this Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, and Kriya Shakti,
Yeah.
they correspond to the Rajoguna?
Jnana Shakti with Sattva-guna.
Sattva.
Ichha and Kriya with Rajoguna.
Rajoguna. Thank you, Krishna.
Yeah. Whereas Tamas is not presented as a Shakti. But Tamas is a Shakti. On a Sunday afternoon after a good lunch. Yeah. So these are all the various
Yeah,
things.
can we call it Nidra Shakti?
No, we don't call it as a Shakti.
Because it's such a vital and important.
It's vital,
part of-
yeah. So get into it. Acha hai. Don't get into it in the class, okay?
Sleep is very necessary. I'm talking about
Yeah.
not in the class. And
Yeah. But it is not presented as a Shakti because sleep is something that will happen naturally. You don't have to do anything about it. Jnana, Ichha and Kriya, you have to... Jnana, Ichha, Kriya, you have to do something about it. You can use it. Nidra Shakti is not something that you use. It happens to you.
But sir, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Sir, when we say Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Sanstita
Yes.
Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah.
Yes, yes.
Is it different from what we are talking?
Nope. Because the Devi is supposed to be Maya Shakti as well. I'm sure Swamini explained that in the when she did that. Trimurti Shakti Sambhuta, isn't it? Sashi, are you listening to what I'm saying? You are so busy writing, I don't think you are listening. Trimurti Shakti Sambhuta. The one who is born from the three Shaktis of this thing. Therefore,
Yes, sir.
Devi is Shakti Swarupa also. Since she is Shakti Swarupa, manifests also as Nidra, as Tamas. Manifests as knowledge also.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are invoking Devi in a few of those qualities, not all the qualities, few of them. Few of them. All you cannot mention, not possible. Too wide. Even the 1,000 names will not cover all the glories. Because only 1,000.
I know. Whereas she is limitless.
Exactly. Anyway, we are not going into that discussion. Let us stick to the pure Vedanta
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Those questions you should have asked so many when you were attending that Lalita Sahasranamam class.
But were we supposed to? Yeah, I could have asked her. I did not ask her.
Yeah. Okay. So, any other questions connected to the class? If there is, shoot. Because I am doing this as a second time, I want to make sure everyone is clear about it. Otherwise, when I go into a higher text, you all will be lost. Yeah.
Swamiji, Nandakishore.
Yeah, Nandakishore.
See, in last class, we just came to know that ignorance, that is Anubhava Siddham.
Ignorance is
Anubhava Siddham, experiential.
Anubhava Siddham. Okay.
And for knowledge, it is Pramana Siddham.
Correct.
But how it is? Because to know ignorance, we will employ experience.
If that is technically put, it's technically put because whatever is established by a pramana has a reality about it, functional or otherwise. Okay. My old water bottle. This water bottle has a functional reality because established by a pramana. I don't know Russian language. Which pramana establishes your ignorance of Russian? Your own anubhava, your experience.
Yes.
You can't say pramana because to have ignorance of Russian, if it is pramana siddham, first you must know what is Russian. And if you know what is Russian, then you won't have ignorance of Russian. Therefore, it cannot become pramana siddham. It's only anubhava siddham.
But knowledge is totally Pramana Siddham.
Knowledge is pramana siddham. Yes. The 6 pramanas, one of the 6 will be involved.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now he is going a little bit more, developing on the idea about total ignorance. Ishwarasya iyam samashtihi akila karanatvat karna shariram ananda prachuratvat koshavat achadagatvat chandanamaya anandamaya cha anandamaya koshaha sarva uparamanatvat sushuptihi ataeva sula sukshma prapancha layasthanamiti uchyate. Some more light, some more details about Maya Shakti. Ishvara, consciousness manifest in Maya Shakti, total ignorance. Iyam Ishwarasya, for Ishvara, samashtihi, the samashti upadi, Maya Shakti, akhila karanatvat karna shariram. Like for individual also, that Maya Shakti is called karna shariram, the cause from which everything is manifest. The 14 dimensions of the universe manifest. Therefore, karna shariram. Ananda prachuratvat, because it is saturated by ananda. Remember, we saw the mayat pratyaya. When you are saying annamaya, anandamaya, etc., there is a maya pratyaya, mayat pratyaya there. That mayat pratyaya has got two meanings: vikara or prachuryam. Are my students remembering all this? किधर देखा ये सब याद है?
Yes.
किधर देखा ये सब? Where did we see all this?
The book that we did in Kamini's house.
What is that?
In Kamini's house, we did that thick book we had. I can't get the name.
Taittiriya Upanishad hai, Baba. What thick book and all you are saying?
No, it also came in that other one. I remember it. I'll get the book.
Was it Panchadashi?
No.
And it has come in a lot of places, okay? All right. But the source is Taittiriya. Remember this. The source is Taittiriya. And in this class, I don't expect you all to say thick book, thin book, okay? Tell me what the book is. Okay. So when you say Annamaya Koshaha, it is modification of food. Your physical body is a modification of food. It is not that laddu, puri, jalebi and all is sticking all over your body. All that you have eaten has modified itself to be flesh and bones and skin and all that stuff. So it is used in the sense of vikara. But the same mayat pratyaya, when it comes to your karna sharira, your ignorance, by the way, how many koshas are there?
5.
What are they?
Annamaya, Annamaya, Jnanmaya, Vijnanmaya.
Nope.
Manomaya.
So where did Jnanakamaya come in?
Vijnanmaya comes, yeah.
See, when you say, have some discipline in your thinking now. Otherwise, this people who cannot get that discipline into thinking are not going to go into the higher class, okay? Starting with the body. You can start either from the top or the bottom. Starting from the body. Annamaya. Then Pranamaya, your energy stuff. Manomaya, your emotions, etc. Vijnanamaya, your knowledge. Anandamaya. And right inside is Atma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Lack of alertness.
Oh no, in and through.
Does the Taittiriya say Anyorna Atmaha Ananda Swarupaha, or does it say Brahma Pucham Pratishtha? Brahman is the basis for the whole thing.
Pratishtha.
Yeah, Brahman is the basis
that
for the whole
it
thing.
says.
So,
Yeah.
if Annamaya is the farthest removed as far as your identification is concerned, Anandamaya is the closest as far as your identification is concerned. Therefore, the Ananda that you are is manifest in ignorance, like you experience in deep sleep. It's a very happy experience. Because it's a happy experience, it is called Anandamaya. There, Ananda does not go through a modification. Food goes through a modification because food is a finite entity. Pranamaya, prana goes through a modification because prana is energy, has to be modified, has to be converted from one to the other. Manomaya, your emotions will be modified. Vijnanamaya, your knowledge will be modified. Cut, chop, paste will happen. But Anandamaya, since Ananda is manifest and we are giving the term Anandamaya, Ananda cannot be modified because it is limitlessness itself. It is you, the consciousness. Therefore, you, the consciousness, permeates the Anandamaya Koshaha. Therefore, Anandamaya is because of Prachuryam, predominance.
But Swamiji, sorry, just a quick clarification.
Yeah?
We talk about the Priya, Moda and Pramoda as
Yeah,
three gradients.
yeah. That is when it is manifest in the mind.
In the mind.
Yeah, manifest in the mind. Anandamaya is not mind. Mind will become Manomaya or Vijnanamaya max. This is Anandamaya. Yeah. Okay, Prachuratvat. Koshavad Achadagatvacha. It seems to cover like a koshaha, like a sheath. Seems to cover. Like means not the same. Like is a simile. So it's not the same. So like a kosha covering a sword, the sheath covering a sword. Similarly, the Anandamaya kosha, ignorance, which is of the nature of ignorance, appears to cover the Atma. It actually covers your knowledge of the Atma. But because it's a covering, it is called koshaha. Therefore, Ananda Prachuratvat and Koshavat Achadagatvat, because it covers like a koshaha, it is called Anandamaya Koshaha. So Maya is also, as far as Ishvara is concerned, is called Anandamaya Kosha. Sarva Uparamatvat Sushupti. Individual level, Sarva Uparamatvat Sushupti. Ataeva or Sula Sukshma Prapancha Laya Sthanam iti Uchyate. As far as Ishvara is concerned, Stula Sukshma Laya Sthanam, the resolving point of the physical and the subtle creation. Entire cosmos, remember, 14 dimensions. Higher dimensions are Sukshma, lower dimensions are grosser, Stula. Making sense? It's simple description. We have seen all these things before. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, shoot.
So for an individual, we have Sharira is ignorance because I don't
Yeah,
know who I
exactly,
am.
exactly.
But when we speak about Ishvara, we just say the Karana Sharira because it is manifested as Jagat.
Yep.
That's so. That is the only reason we use
Yeah.
and say that Ishvara is the Karana Sharira because
Yeah.
there Ishvara is all knowledge also, no?
Correct.
So how do I?
Therefore, there is ignorance is not there. Yeah. That we said last time, remember, qualitative difference, etc. All those principles come at work. Yeah.
So that is the only reason because it is manifested. That's why
Yeah.
we say Karana Sharira.
Exactly. Okay, lasthanam iti uchyate.
So qualitative difference means what?
Sashi, please listen to the last class recordings. We have clarified it a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else has the same doubt about qualitative difference and coming in because of quantity? If you have, please say. I'll explain right now. Please indicate. No. Okay. Okay. So the verse is clear. This is what Ishvara's Maya Upadhi gains all these different terms. Generally, we just say Maya Upadhi.
May I ask?
Yeah, Nita Ben, what is it?
Doubt. What we call Pratibimba Ananda, Bimba Ananda and Pratibimba Ananda.
That has not come in the text, so we'll keep that question outside. I'll answer it some other time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Don't. Yeah. I don't know from where you got Bimba Ananda and Pratibimba Ananda. They're all very, very dicey way of saying things. Okay, then going further, he says, Yatha vanasya vyashti abhiprayena vrikshaha iti anekatva vyapadesha yatha va jalashayasya vyashti abhiprayena jalani iti tatha ajnanasya vyashti abhiprayena tad anekatva vyapadesha indro mayabhihi purarupa ityeti ityadi shrutehe. Now remember, those days, people who came to study Vedanta already had some exposure to the Veda. They had done some chanting, etc. And in the chanting, etc., there is this expression, Indra Maya Bihi Purarupo Iryate. Indraha, Ishvaraha. Indra here is used in the sense of Ishvara. Maya Bihi, plural mayas, plural term. Okay, Maya Bihi.
मेरे को पानी देना.
Kamini, if you are talking at home, please mute yourself. So, plural sense is used Maya Bihi. Okay, since plural sense is used Maya Bihi, Pura Rupam Ityeti, it manifested itself as all the various forms that you see. Plural term is used. Whereas we are saying Maya is one, then why is that plural used? Remember, this doubt is natural for someone who is exposed to the Veda. You and I don't have the problem because we are not exposed to the Veda. Okay. So many of us here will be wondering, why are we spending this time, one verse on this? Okay. Then he gives an example for that. Yatha vanasya, in a forest, vyashti abhiprayena, from the standpoint of the individual trees, vrikshaha iti anekatva vyapadesha. You will use the plural trees, vrikshaha. Yathava, or for jalashayasya, with respect to a lake, vyashti abhiprayena, with respect to the individuals, drops of water, you will say jalaniti. It can be drops, it can be liters, it can be gallons, it can be whatever, it can be cubic feet, whatever measurement you choose to make. Okay, but jalaniti, plural. Tatha ajnanasya vyashti abhiprayena, from the standpoint of the ajnanam in the individual minds, anekatva vyapadesha. You are using the plural in that statement. That's all. There is no other reason, because in different minds, ignorance appears to be divided up. Therefore, you are using the plural. For that, he gives the example of the forest and the lake. That's all. Don't take it more than that. Okay. Atra vyasta samastya vyapitvena vyashti samashti vyapadesha. Okay. Therefore, from the standpoint of functioning, he says, vyashti, you are having vyasta samastya vyapikatvena vyashti samashti vyaparaha. There are individual and collective terms applied for ignorance because of how you are going to function with it. Okay? Because if you are going to explain something, there is an individual standpoint, there is a collective or a total standpoint. So from the basis of that, individual and total terms are used because there is also functioning differences. Ishvara functioning from total Maya Upadhi is different from me functioning from my individual Maya Upadhi. The huge difference. Now all that we will see. It iyam vyashtihi niskrishta upaditayaha malina sattva pradanaha. This is the most important statement here. Vyashti, the Vyashti Upadhi, that is your and mine, Anandamaya Kosha. The Maya Shakti manifests in the individual minds. In the individual minds, Niskrishta Upaditayaha is a lower Upadhi, is a finite Upadhi. It's a commonplace Upadhi. Therefore, he says, Malina Sattva Pradhanam. Total Upadhi is Sattva Pradhanam. Individual Upadhi, qualitative difference. Those who wanted to know. Qualitative difference, individual Upadhi is Malina Sattva Pradhana. Sattva but contaminated by Rajas and Tamas. What a pity, somebody wanted to know more about it but is not there. Okay. Malina Sattva Pradhana. Total Upadhi, qualitative difference is pure Sattva. Rajas, Tamas is all just functioning. Whereas individual Upadhis, because this is a Niskrishta Upadhi, a lower Upadhi, a finite Upadhi, it is Sattva Pradhanam. Yes, because remember, every human being is Sattva Pradhana. Why? You are capable of thinking and knowing, na? You are capable of thinking, knowing, feeling, making decisions. But Malina Sattvam, that Sattva is contaminated by Rajas and Tamas. Rajas and Tamas are not mere functioning entities, they are contaminating entities for a human being. My knowledge is contaminated by my bias. What I know is contaminated by my Rajas, Ragadveshas, by my biases, by my distorted thinking, by Tamas, laziness, indolence, doubts. I am too lazy to try to think and answer my doubts myself. Yeah, in spite of thinking you have a doubt, then ask. Yeah, this is not to say, therefore don't ask, you are supposed to answer doubts yourself. No. But sometimes we do get, the moment it comes up in my mind, you blurt it out. Relevant, irrelevant, that's all because of contamination of Sattva by Tamas. So Rajas and Tamas contaminates my mind. That is why they are all human emotions, but we call them some negative emotions, hatred. Rajas only coming up now, Tamas coming up, hatred. Yeah. Bias is coming up. Yeah. Distortions coming up. Emotional reasonings coming up. Yeah. Bias for or against. Delusory thinking coming up. One of the biggest delusory thinking, the guy has written a book on this delusory thinking and made tons of money on it. The Secret. Whole world is following The Secret. Nobody has become wiser or more successful or richer, except for the author. You just have to believe it will happen. Yeah. If it was that simple, do you think I would not have cured the world of the Wuhan virus by now? My Sankalpa Shakti is quite strong, reasonably strong. Would I have not done it? If it was that simple. Yeah. It's not that simple. It's delusory thinking. It is about 10% true, 90% delusory. Yeah. 10% truth, I'll accept it.
Interestingly, people who read The Secret, for all the illnesses, they read another book, some pain or someone.
Okay.
If you sneeze, they will say you have some basic emotional issue.
Yeah, they have, all of them have that.
If the person gets a cancer, it is because of intense conflict with the person.
Yeah. See,
there's one popular book which
I know, I'll tell you that. See, there is some bias for your emotional life affecting your physical health. There is some basis for it, but it is overstated. Louis Hay was the writer. Louis Hay, you can heal yourself.
Correct.
Yeah. I know, I have one of my students, or rather who threatened to be my student. I make this difference nowadays. Because some of them are really my students who have learned and understood the truth. At least got a vision. That much is there. And some who come off and on to a class and goes away, disappears. And goes into other things. Was actually conducting workshops on Louis Hay. There is some good because of little bit it is true. Your emotional health is connected to your physical health up to a point. Up to a point, not more than that. Up to a point, yes. More than that, you can conduct workshops, make some money for yourself. Make a good living for yourself. That's good. Your health will be fine.
Like Amazon says, we can always say, if a person reads The Secret,
Yeah.
you may also like this book.
Yeah, exactly. So, all these are the biases coming into it. If I say it is totally nonsense, then my bias is coming into it. So I can't say it's totally nonsense because there is some amount of this thing, connection between your emotions and your physical health. But overstating it is a bias. That is why it is sattva, but malina sattva, contaminated by rajas and tamas. Why? Niskrishta Upadhi is like that. What can you do? That is why the study of Vedanta involves a great amount of objectivity and mastery of your mind. Samadhama. Otherwise, how are you going to see the truth as it is? The traditional teaching will give you insights at the most. That's the strength of the traditional teaching. It is not the greatness of the teacher, the strength of the traditional teaching. But if the Malina Sattva is high, it won't work. It won't work. At the same time, can you be 100% pure Sattva? No human mind can be. You need Rajas to function. You need Tamas to go to sleep. That much at least you will require. Therefore, you can only become predominantly Sattvic. Sattva Guna Pradhanaha you can become. But some amount of Rajas and Tamas you require. Otherwise, you will be a good person but good for nothing. Because you are doing nothing. Okay. Okay. Now, what about the consciousness that is manifest in this Niskrishta Upadhi, the lower Upadhis? Etad upahitam chaitanyam alpmakjatva anisharattvadi gunakam prajnaha iti uchyate eka ajnana avabhasakatvat. since the consciousness manifests in this individual ajnanam, ekatva ajnana avabhasakatvat, since it illumines only one unit of ajnanam, what is it called? Alpajnatvam, is of limited knowledge. Anishwaratva gunakam, it doesn't have Ishwaratvam, is Anishwara. Ishwara, the ability to control everything is not there, even though you may be a control freak, as many of human beings are, but you can't control everything. Anishwaratva gunakam, prajnaha iti uchyate, in deep sleep, prajnaha, prayena ajnaha, almost ignorant iti, prajnaha iti uchyate. This is the individual. Total is Ishvara, etc. Ishvara, Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvakaranam, and individual is Alpajnaha, Anishvaraha, Samsari. There is Ishvara, here you are Samsari. That's a huge difference. Anishvara means what? Samsari. Sense of finitude. Yeah. Sense of finitude. Asya prajnatvam aspashta upaditaya aniti prakashakatva. Okay, it is called prajnaha because it's a limited thing. The upadhi is limited, so how much knowledge can you get anyway? Okay. And how much the consciousness manifest will illumine anyway. I have got 1,000 volts of energy coming through, electricity coming through, but my bulb is only 10 volt, 10 volts. Therefore, how much can it illumine? Only that much. Only that much. 1,000 volts is available, but my thing is only this much. Similarly, consciousnesses can illumine the whole thing, but this mind is only 10 volts. Utnai. Okay, prajnahayati. Okay. For this verse, there's a nice footnote in your books about upadhi. Read that, okay? It's a nice footnote. Asya apiyam ahankara adi karanatvad karna shariram ananda prachuratvad koshavat achadakatvad anandamaya koshaha. Now look at it. Asya api ayam ahankaradi karanatvad. Since this ignorance is the karanam for your ahankara, therefore an ahankari, people say knowledge creates ego. Knowledge does not create ego. It is the ignorance that creates ego. Knowledgeable people know that their knowledge is limited. The more ignorant you are, the more you think you know everything. Therefore, ahankara is a sign of ignorance. Why? Because I don't know myself. I don't know I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. I don't know that. Because I don't know that, I have an idea about what I am. A concept about what I am. That concept is called ahankara, your conceptual self. Therefore, ahankara is a direct product of ajnanam and consciousness, of course. 25th verse, Atma Bodha. Anyone remembers? I've been quoting it so many times, by now you all should be remembering it. Atmanascha Sachidamsascha Buddhehe Vrittiritidvayam Samyoga cha avivekena janami iti pravartate. The Sach that makes the Atma and the Vrittis that make up the mind, when they get into an unholy marriage, avivekena, out of sheer ignorance when they combine together. Janami iti pravrutte, I know. I know is the first sign of ahankara. What the Christians call as the original sin. If at all. I know. I'm awareful. That means what? How can I know become ahankara? Because I know this is me, that is you. Sense of finitude has come in, na? Knower known differences is ahankara is based on that. Because finitude is based on knower known difference, isn't it? Yeah. Therefore, ahankaradi karanatvat karna shariram. Therefore, even the individual ajnanam can be called karana shariram. Ananda prachuratvat. Since it is saturated by ananda that you are, that the consciousness is, it is called anandamaya. Same as for Ishvara, the individual also. Anandamaya. Achadagatvat. Since it appears to cover the Atma, appears to cover, doesn't cover, it appears to cover, it is called koshaha. Therefore, anandamaya koshaha. Sarva uparamatvat sushuptihi eva. Sarva uparamatvat. Since it is the resolving point every night, your ahankara, etc. is resolved into what? Avidya. Therefore, it is called sushupti, not laya, not pralaya. Total level it will be called pralaya. If Ishvara goes to sleep, it is pralaya. For me, it is sushupti. For my individual, ahankara, etc. is resolved temporarily. Sushupti. Ateva sula sukshma sharira prapancha layasthanamiti uchyate. Therefore, it is called the layasthanam of my sthula sharira and sukshma sharira, my personal sthula sharira and sukshma sharira. Layasthanamiti uchyate. At the personal level. Not at the total level. Only at the personal level it is called. Okay. Okay. All right. Any questions or can I go ahead? If there are questions, ask, okay? Don't worry. Okay. Tadanim etad Ishvara prajñau, both Ishvara and prajña, Chaitanya pradipata abhirati sukshma abhijnana vritti abhi ananda anubhavataha. Vritti bhi ananda anubhavataha. At the time of dreamless sleep, sushupti, both Ishvara and prajna. Whenever Ishvara goes to sleep, that is, let us leave Ishvara out of it. It is included because totality also is the same. We are concerned more with the individual. Chaitanya pradipta abhihi ati shukshma abhijnana vrittibhihi ajnana vrittibhihi. Even in deep sleep, there are some subtle thoughts. Ajnana thoughts. I don't know thought. By that, he says, Anandam anubhavataha. Look at it. You are in deep sleep. Okay? You are in deep sleep. But when you get up, do you say you are enjoyed your sleep or you did not enjoy your sleep? So to enjoy, you must have been there, no? It's called Ati Sukshma Vritti, Ajnana Vritti. For all practical purposes, you can say there is no thinking. Because there is no conscious thinking. That much is true. But even if there is no conscious thinking, there is extremely Sukshma Vritti. Enough Vritti to keep you connected with this body. That's important. It is connected with this body. You are connected with the body. Therefore, Sukshma Vritti, that nature is there. And that is why you can enjoy Ananda. हाँ मज़ा आया, what a sleep I had यार, आहा मज़ा आ गया. Really speaking, the ananda of that, of deep sleep, is better than eating jalebi fafda. Okay. That ananda, मज़ा आया. Okay. Therefore, it gets another name. Therefore, it gets another name. What is that? Ananda book. Ananda mukha. Cheto mukha prajnaha. Ananda book. The one who enjoys ananda. Cheto mukha. Okay. Cheto mukha. Okay. Because there is still sentiency there. Cheto mukha. You are sentient enough to be alive, no? You are not dead. Therefore, cheto mukha. Prajnaha, but almost ignorant. Therefore, prajnaha. Iti shrutehe. These are all explaining the verses given in the Mundaka. Okay, cheto mukha. Therefore, your experience. Sukham maham avapsam. मजा से सोया था. क्या मजा आया. I slept very well. Had a great time. Na kinchid avedisham iti. I slept like a log. I did not know anything. Na kinchid avedisham. I did not know a thing. Are, did you know how heavily it rained last night? What rain? I did not know anything. I was fast asleep. Okay. Iti uttitasya paramarsha upapattescha. This is the remembrance, the memory of a person who has got up from sleep. Okay. This is purely memory based. It's important to note this here, that sleep is not a product of your inference. Sleep is something that you remember. To remember, you must have been there. You must have gone through that experience. To infer, you need not be there. I went for a morning walk to the garden. I found that whole area was wet. We had some very limited local rain here. Inference. Because the whole area is wet. Even the tree tops, etc. are wet. Therefore, it's not some water splashing here and there. It was rain. Clear-cut inference. I was not there. I was not there. But I can infer it. It's a valid pramana. Sleep is not like that. I don't get up in the morning and say, oh, from this time to this time I did not know anything, therefore I must have been asleep. Do you make an inference like that? Let us say, for argument's sake, you make an inference like that. From this time to this time I did not know anything, therefore I must have been asleep. That I did not know anything, where did you get that data from? That I did not know anything data came from your direct perception, your anubhava. That means you were there very much. Therefore, the data here that you are using for an inference is direct. And that data itself is what you are calling sleep. That I did not know anything. Itself is another name is sleep. Totally I did not know a thing. It is not like saying, sir, in a court, Judge, I am innocent. My friends were consuming drugs, not me. I did not know anything. That is different. That I did not know anything is not total. Whereas when I am asleep, my ignorance is total. I did not know anything. That is my direct anubhava. Therefore, direct anubhava is very different. Yeah. The direct anubhava. Therefore, it is a memory of what I have gone through. I slept like a log. I was so happy. What a nice, blissful sleep I had. How do you infer the bliss of sleep? Do you really have to infer that sleep is blissful? Or is it your direct experience that you had a very great, good sleep, blissful, undisturbed sleep? Therefore, if you remember, it is memory, you are there. It is not an inference. You are anubhava. Very important to prove that Atma is available in all the three states of experiences, including deep sleep. Because if deep sleep was an inference, Atma will not be there. Therefore, you will say Atma is there only in two states of experience, not in deep sleep. But that is not true. Avastatraya Sakshi, it is a witness of the three states of experience. You are there very much. You are there very much. You remember it. Getting up in the morning, nobody has to make an inference. You all remember it. Yeah. Iti Shrutehe. Okay, Paramarshutma, Apapattescha. Therefore, it is a direct, you are remembering the whole thing. Okay. Clear up to now? Want to do one or two more words or stop here? Up to you all. Game to go further? Or, hey, enough for today? If game to go further for one or two, for a few more minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, okay. Let's go further.
As you all say, Samala.
Anayoho samashti vyashti yoho vanavrikshayoho jalasha jalayoho va bhedaha. Therefore, the difference between the individual and the total, okay? Difference between the individual and the total is, he says, like how there is a difference between a tree and a forest, or a bucket of water and a lake. Just a simple, okay. Then the next verse, he covers up the whole thing. That's why I said we'll go one more verse, okay? He covers up the whole thing. What is that? Here it is. He says, Etad upihitayoho Ishvara prajnayoho rapi vanavrikshavat akashayoho iva avichinna akashoyo iva jalasha jalagata pratibimba akashayoho iva va abhedaha. Esha sarveshvara, esha sarvajnaha, esha antaryamihi, esha yoni sarvasya prabhavapyayo hi bhutanam. Mundaka ityadi shrutehe. Mandukya ityadi shrutehe. Beautiful verse. Okay. We will start it today, but I want you all to think about it. And the next class we will come more with it. I know one or two people will be missing the next class, but the videos will be up. You can catch up on it. Aram se, no problems. Okay. He says, therefore, etad upihitayoho. Now remember this example. There is a shift here. Etad upihitayoho ishva prajnayoho api. Then the consciousness that is manifest in the individual and the total. Okay. Now Vana and Vriksha talked about the upadhis. What is there in the place of the consciousness? He is introducing that here. Vana vriksha avichinna akashayoho iva. Space occupied by one tree, space occupied by the whole forest. One tree occupies a given so much of space, 10 square meters of space. The whole forest, 10,000 acres of space or 1,000 acres of space. He says, Akasho eva, or Jalasha Jalagata Pratibimba Akashayoho eva, or the space that is manifest in one pot of water or in the lake. Abhedaha. Space is one. One tree may occupy only 10 square meters of space. A forest may occupy 1,000 acres of space. But the space is what? Do you divide up space between the tree and the forest? The space is one. One bucket of water or whole lake. Space is one. Space manifest in both is one. Area is different. Area is different. Space is one. Are you getting the idea? The area occupied may be different, but the space, area is connected to your floor space, your earth. We are talking about the space that the earth occupies is one. The whole earth itself, we can bring in that also, is one. Therefore, between individual upadhis and total upadhis, what one tree can do, what a whole forest can do. What one individual can do, what Ishvara can do. Lot of differences. But the consciousness manifests in both. Ekameva. Ekameva. That there is no difference. Therefore, when Vedanta talks about Tattvamasi, etc., we are talking only at the standpoint of consciousness. Like one space occupied by one tree or a forest. One space. Between tree and tree and forest, there can be a part and whole relationship. Between the two spaces, is there part and whole relationship? Yeah, in Bombay we have a few interior decorators and architects who talk like that. That's just a put on. Okay. You know, we work with space. We will create more space in your house. You can't create any space in my house. It is only 650 carpet area, that is all that is there. You can arrange the walls and this in such a manner that you can get an extra room out of it. You are creating some illusions there, that's all. Space is space one. Yeah, this is my space, that is neighbor's space. ठीक है, this is your flat, that is neighbor's flat. Space is one. And what is this flat anyway? Your ceiling is somebody else's floor, your floor is somebody else's ceiling. बस हो गया काम. Outer walls are the walls of the society. You can't touch it without society permission. And what about the space that you occupy? That is yours. Take it. What space? You're paying a few crores for space. Hey, limitless space is yours, na? Take it. Where are you going to go with it anyway? Convenience, functional conveniences, that's all. Functional conveniences. You draw imaginary lines and you say, that is your country, this is my country. Yes, good boundaries make good neighbors. If your boundaries are not well done, there can be a problem. Like we are having with Pakistan and China and all. Because the previous government never even thought of defining boundaries. What an idiotic government we have had. Can't define your own boundaries. Functional. Space is one. Space is one. So also, consciousness manifests in Ishvara and consciousness manifests in the Jiva, one. So the whole Vedanta learning is to understand that there is only this one consciousness, and that's me. I am that consciousness. Therefore, I am limitlessness itself. In spite of a limited upadhi, I am limitless. The whole Vedanta teaching is centered around that only. To understand that, all these differences, etc., we'll talk about. Yeah. Therefore, what is only one. Therefore, Esha Sarveshwaraha, Sarvajnaha, Antaryami, Sarvesham Yonihi, the source of all beings, Sarvasya Prabhavapyayau, Sarva Bhutanam, for all creatures, for all beings. The source, the origin, and the dissolution point, all that is only one Ishvara. One Ishvara, one consciousness. Ishvara is brought in between so that you can understand, in your mind can grasp with the idea of an apparent creation. Since you and I individually are not responsible for this creation, we present the totality as responsible for the creation, as capable of the creation. And then we understand that all that you talk about creation is not a creation, it's only a manifestation, it's only an apparent thing that is there. It's only an appearance. And if it is an appearance, what remains is only one consciousness. So that will be the subject matter of the whole book. The whole book is to explain that. And in between, he also deals with the nature of Turiya, etc. The next chapter, next topic is that, the nature of Turiya, etc. Okay. Then the extensions of ignorance. All beautiful. I don't find a better text than this. Okay. For introducing the whole of Vedanta at one stroke, in one text. So Aram se, we have seen quite a bit today. Quite a bit. Yeah, from 38th verse 39th onwards to 47, 7, 8 verses we have seen. Good. I want you all to think about it. Really think about it, okay? If you think, there are bound to be questions. If you think more, there will be more questions. If you think a little bit more, maybe you will get some of the answers. Okay. So, depending upon that, we will see next class. Okay. Good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.
Namaskar, sir.
Om Ji. Take care. Yeah. All the best to everyone. Have fun. Have a nice Sunday lunch.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Take care, all of you. Yes.